They say the worst thing you can do in the military is assume you know someone's story just by looking at them, and I learned that the hard way, right there in the echoing hangar of Ramstein Air Base, where the lights never really turn off and the smell of jet fuel and old sweat lingers long after your shift ends. You want a hook? Try this. I once laughed at the scars of a woman whose call sign could make generals lose sleep, and in less than a month, I went from thinking I was king of the newbies to realizing I'd been making a damn fool of myself in front of a living legend. Yeah, that happened. And if you're listening, maybe you'll walk away smarter than I did. It started like any other day. If you can call the grind ordinary, clipboard in hand, Lieutenant Maya Reyes was moving through the bay with her sleeves rolled up, scars clear as day, and attitude cool as a February wind in Chicago. You ever seen lightning frozen in his skin? That's what her arms looked like, and nobody in the maintenance crew said a word about it except in whispers. Jenkins, that's mefresh out of tech school, all bark and zero experience, thought I was hot stuff. My buddies hung on my every word, the way fresh recruits do when they're scared but don't want to show it. So I cracked a joke, yeah, not my finest hour, about how our new lieutenant looked like she lost a fight with a barbed wire fence. My audience laughed, right on cue, thinking we were untouchable, that the world belonged to us. But Reyes, she just kept moving, eyes sharp, posture steady, never even sparing us a glance. There's something about a person who doesn't react, you know? It gets under your skin, makes you want to poke harder just to get a rise. Careful with those maintenance reports, Lieutenant. Looks like you already lost a fight with paperwork. I called, and the bay got quiet, not silent, but close. Tools stopped. Voices dropped. She turned and looked right at me, and let me tell you, it wasn't anger I saw. It was something colder, like she was measuring me, seeing right through the uniform and finding out if there was anything worth her time underneath. She said nothing, just kept moving, leaving me with a shiver I try to shake off by talking big with the guys. That's what you do when you don't want to admit someone rattled you. Throughout the morning, I watched her. Noticed how the old hands guys like Master Sergeant Wilkins talked to her different. No eye rolling, no lip. They listened. There was a difference in the air when she was around, but I didn't get it. Not yet. During the daily briefing, the colonel was going on about classified drone failures, when out of nowhere, Reyes pipes up cool, as you please, and corrects him on a technical detail, right in front of the whole room. He doesn't shut her down. He tells her to make it happen. The guy started looking at her different after that. And for the first time, I wonder how a maintenance officer knew so much. I couldn't let it go, so I cornered her in the hall. Try to lay on the charm. Maybe I could show you how maintenance is done, help avoid future accidents. She slid away from my hand so fast and so smooth, I barely noticed she'd moved like she'd been dodging punches all her life. I think I can manage, she said, voice even, not a hint of annoyance, just fact. A pilot walking by gave her a nod, the kind you give someone you owe your life to, not just a peer. My world started tilting, but I still didn't get it. Not until the day the general walked in. You ever seen a 4-star general render a salute to a lieutenant? Neither had I, not until General Thornton showed up unannounced for an inspection. Everyone stiffened, but when his eyes landed on Reyes, he stopped dead. My God, Phantom, is that really you? The whole room went so still you could hear the lights buzzing overhead. Then, right there in front of all of us, the general saluted Reyes. He called her Colonel. The air shifted. Senior officers straightened. The name Phantom rippled around the room like a rumor you're not supposed to hear. Operation Blackstone. The ghost who pulled off the impossible and left only whispers behind. Turns out, our quiet lieutenant had been running classified missions most of us couldn't spell, let alone survive. The general told everyone to keep it quiet. Reyes wanted her cover, and her choice was respected. The second the brass left, the room erupted in whispers. Crew chiefs looked at me with a kind of pity you don't want to earn. Some people aren't what they seem, one told me. The question is, what are you going to do now that you know? I didn't have an answer. Shame burned right through me, made every dumb joke and lazy comment echo twice as loud in my memory. I spent the rest of the day watching her with new eyes. When I finally tried to apologize, she didn't let me off easy. You were disrespectful. You were insubordinate. She said matter of fact, not cruel, just calling it what it was. Scars tell stories. Not all of them are meant to be shared. Judge less, observe more. Then she was gone, and I realized I'd been lucky. She could have destroyed me, but she chose to teach instead. I came in early after that. Worked harder. Stopped trying to impress anyone but myself. Started seeing the pride in a job done right, not just the flashy stuff. Wilkins told me he'd known her before the Phantom days. She always saw patterns others missed, always fixed what others thought was broken for good. Some people find peace in making things whole again, he said. I started to get it maybe after a lifetime of breaking things and people for her country. Fixing jets was the only way to heal. The base changed quietly. People showed Reyes more respect, spoke to her with a gravity that had nothing to do with rank and everything to do with what she'd done. As for me, I let my work speak for itself. When I saw new recruits snickering at her scars, I stopped them. You never know who someone really is until you've walked in their boots, I'd say. Some just laughed, but most paused, looked twice. The last time I saw Reyes, she was rolling down her sleeve at the end of a shift, scars hidden, not because she was ashamed, but because she didn't need them to prove anything. Some folks were their medals, Wilkins said. Others just were their scars. And the ones who never say a word? Those are the ones who taught me what true strength looks like. So next time you see someone you think you've figured out, remember there's no such thing as just anything in this world. Especially not in this man's army. So, what do you think are true heroes, the ones with medals on their chests? Or the ones who serve in silence? Drop your thoughts below. Let's talk about what real valor looks like, and who gets to decide whose story matters.